Arkosh does take the Nature's Prophet. Looks like that could be our paused 4 in this game. We just saw the effect of Nature's Prophet in the last game from the cut. Could also be the offlane for Arkosh if they wanted to. Gives them some really good roaming potential now. Monkey has some long range with a tree jump. Nyx has the Vendetta to sneak around, and the NP can just TP in front. So you're seeing some options for aggression here from Arkosh without relying on, say, blink timings for their Shaker in the last game. Gives them some more opportunities to take some early fights here.
Yeah, I imagine it should be the offlane here for Arkosh. I think we saw it in week 1 of the NA DPC. Arkosh was running that MP, and as you said, it was the Jenkins-style NP, where you do go the shards, and you just kind of split push forever, and the other team is always kind of just forced to react. Still, we'll see the cut. They do go for the Troll Warlord now, and obviously the Troll has looked very, very potent in this current meta. Doesn't have to be worried about heroes like the OD that can just astral him through the battle trance and be annoying in that way. I suppose the Prophet can still be slightly annoying because you can sprout the Troll, but as long as he has a Quelling Blade or the Battle Fury, he should be just fine to get himself out. Still, Arkosh now turned back around with an Oracle pickup. That could prove to be very, very strong here up against the side of the cut.
Definitely could be. They've got the False Promise to keep their Monkey King alive in the middle of a fight for one. They've got the Natural Disarm for the Troll, although the Troll with the Ags build will be able to dispel that, actually. So there's going to be a back and forth on the timings here for Scourge McDuck to meet. Be keen to see what he does build up as well. I do think that the Battle Fury Ags build is probably one of the more stable and dominating builds for the Troll. In fact, you could maybe even just skip the Fury if you want to, and the cut do go into the Beastmaster. So they've got some pushing potential of their own now. They've got some scouting out with the Hawks that can intercept the Nature's Prophet if he does TP on the sides of the lanes to split push, and to spot out the Monkey King as well. And you do have, again, a way of clearing out these waves with the Axe. So the cut looking well-rounded here overall. They've got deep push with their Beastmaster and Keeper of the Light. They've got decent team fight coming in. Not much AoE control until maybe we see a Will-O-Wisp come out from our Keeper, but single target control is looking good, and it does look like they are keeping that same pace they had from game 1 here.
Absolutely. Final banouts to come out, though. We're going to have to wait those ones out, but I've got to say, John, I do agree with your points that that were made about the Beastmaster. It's just so much value with the bird that gets thrown out by this Beastmaster this game. So much to watch out for. I mean, you can even argue just being able to spot out the Oracle in the middle of the team fight can be very influential for the side of the cut as well, because Oracle is going to be that one hero that you just want to burst down ASAP to ensure that you can't get all those annoying heals flying out from the side of Arkosh Gaming. Still, we do see the Invoker and PL being banned out. One more now for the cut. Looks like they are just going to focus in on those position 1s, just make sure there's nothing that they can't deal with. And there's the Naga Siren. So both just illusion-based position 1s being removed here by the cut. And Arkosh, they seem to still be focusing in on those Lil Nick heroes in the mid lane. I'm sure Lil Nick doesn't really want to play Void Spirit into mid Monkey King, if that is going to be a mid Monkey. So they probably are right in banning out these mid heroes. It's going to be a matter of what the cut picks up now, if they are intending on replacing the Void Spirit mid.
Yeah, not many options left for mid. Maybe, I guess there's room for, like, say, a Sand King mid for the cut if they wanted to, but that doesn't fit Lil Nick's playstyle, I don't reckon. So we'll have to see. There's the last pick overall is coming out for Arkosh as well. So they could still maybe flex that Monkey King to safe instead and find themselves another favorable matchup up against whatever the cut picks up here.
Okay. Well, not much time left. They've got 22 seconds reserve time for this final pickup. Of course, the Arkosh Gaming boys will have the last pick to be made. So they will be able to tell where the Void Spirit is going. Suppose you do have some flexibility with the Beastmaster if you wanted to throw him mid, but no, they go for a Lycan pickup, which, well, Arkosh, they don't think about it. Straight into the Bristleback now. So Bristle versus the Lycan in these last pickups. It looks like it is going to be a mid Monkey King coming out. Scourge McDuck going to take the safe lane Lycan, and Troll Warlord is going to be played in the mid lane. So not a bad matchup there for the side of the cut in that mid lane, I'd say, with the Troll Warlord. Apart from that, Tingle King on the offlane Beastmaster, and Vol is indeed playing the position for Void Spirit. John, some very interesting drafts here. I've got to ask you the hard question. Who has the better draft in your opinion?
A bit tricky to say. I think Arkosh does have a lot fixed up in this draft. They've got really good team fight, good sustain. They've got Oracle plus Monkey and Oracle plus Bristleback in play. So a lot of good frontline cores that can sort of keep that damage out as they stay alive fairly long. I think draft-wise, I'm going to have to say Arkosh does have a really clean draft, but I think when it comes down to execution, the Cut has a little bit more leeway in how to pull this one off. Like, they've got the Lycan that can push out as well. They've got the Wave Clear with a Keeper of the Light, and if Little Nick gets some space out, the Troll can be a bit of an issue down the line here.
Absolutely. And with that, we'll go into game number 2. We'll see if Arkosh can push this one back to a game 3, or whether the Cut are going to be able to get themselves another 2-0 victory. I am liking where the Cut's gone with this draft, I might add, John. I really like Lycan plus Beastmaster. Always a very scary kind of combination to go into if you are Arkosh Gaming. We'll see what they get done about it.
I sense
Yeah.
distortion.
The one thing about the Cut's draft as well, right? Like you mentioned that push potential with Lycan plus Beast. They've also got this fallback in the Troll. So Lil Nick can just kind of farm up if he needs to, start to build into that late game if the push doesn't go too well for the Cut, and they've still got options in hand. Arkosh, almost the same story as game 1. They do need to maybe play around the mid game a bit more. Monkey King's timing is going to be key. See how active Canis Vulpus can be once he hits that level 6, maybe level 7, level 8 spike with a couple of items up, and start to buy some space out. They really need to make sure that Pale Horse has a good time on this Bristleback as well. Right through that early patch of level 1, level 2, ensure that his lane gets off to a running start, and maybe hope for a quick Vanguard timing or Hood of Defiance timing on your Bristle to ensure that he can just take a lane out and force a response out every single time.
But what's Crow doing? Look at Crow John in the Roshan pit. Trying to hit the Roshan, yeah. Maybe a bit of a secret strategy here, but Goat is also going to be around. So they are just going to go ahead and secure the bounty runes up at that top side. Bottom bounty runes are going to be taken by the Cut, so a very even start. John, you know what I noticed during the break? I think there are a bit too many similarities between me and Canis Vulpus. It turns out, according to this introduction video of Canis, everyone on his team seems to believe he's a furry, John. And ironically enough, everyone also believed I was a furry because of my name. So I'm not sure if it's an Armenian thing, John, but apparently we all just come across as furries. Which, nothing wrong if you are. All good, but, you know, I'm not sure what it is, John.
Well, you did choose MLP
True.
as your name. I'm not sure if there's anyone else to blame but yourself, Mike. Still, we're going to see how these lanes unfold. We are looking down mid, where you do have Canis Vulpus, speaking of, up against Lil Nick. Monkey King versus Troll, not as bad for Lil Nick, but Canis Vulpus should still have a lot of leeway in getting some harassment and damage out. Lil Nick can at least go into the range form to get some last hits, but you're already seeing Canis Vulpus sort of take the lead here, 5-1 up against Lil Nick's trio, and we'll see how that holds up. It is going to be a steady farming lane, but expect the Monkey King to be the one on the aggression here in mid.
Yeah, I think it's going to be very important for Lil Nick to try his best not to give away that free Jingu Mastery over to Canis, because then you are going to be able to just easily get those denies off with that bonus attack damage. As we'll have a quick look at the other lanes as well. Top lane, Scourge of Dark, he's going to be up against Gremlo on that Nature's Prophet, and you are also going to have Crow and Pingu there. Mind you, Crow is currently just chasing Pingu down. Pingu trying to be very annoying here, disrupting the pool that was being had by Crow. Crow is still finding a lot of CS. Looks like Pingu is not really able to do too much about slowing down the Nyx Assassin. Crow now does get the level 2, so a very nice little play there from Crow. And of course, the final lane we haven't looked at yet. It is going to be Vol and Tinglekin up against Pale Horse and Goat. And you kind of already talked about the fact that Pale Horse is going to have a pretty good lane. Looks like that should be the case. But as of now, Tingle is also not really struggling too much on the Beastmaster.
Now he's using his boars well. He's getting some decent farm and some decent denies off as well. Do you have to worry about how much Pale Horse has gotten? He's at this level 2 spike. Solar Ring almost up, and once you've got that done, Bristleback plus Oracle does have a lot of aggression that they can pump out just by, again, purely spamming out these quilts. So have to be cautious about that. You do see Vol forced to salve up and is cancelled off. Nicely, some resources being burned through here by the cut to just maintain this lane already.
Absolutely. Well, Crow gets a nice courier snipe there onto Scourge McDuck's courier. Looking back over that mid lane for a second, Canis Vulpus does get that Jingu Mastery once again off Lil Nick. Is still leading in this mid lane, 17-5 in comparison to the 12-0 of Lil Nick, but you got to give props to the troll for being able to keep up like this in a difficult sort of matchup here. Still doing a pretty darn good job on that troll warlord. While bot lane, Goat also falling very low on the Oracle, but ultimately we will be able to walk away. Pale Horse always going to be able to just kind of front line there on the Bristleback. In fact, they're going to try and go onto Vol now, but he's going to be able to just get back behind his tier 1 tower. It's still going to give Pale Horse a pretty free lane here on this Bristle.
Again, you're seeing a slight early lead here for Arkosh just in terms of farm because of how these lanes are going. We're seeing Canis Vulpus really start to take over that mid matchup. We're seeing Pale Horse apply that aggression he wants to onto Bristle with his Soul Ring up. He's going to have all the sustain he needs to just keep spamming out those Quilt Sprays, and there's really not much the offlane of the cut can do right now. The only lane that they're doing fairly well in is really the top lane, where Scourge McDuck is finding some really good farm. And despite that early aggression from Crow and Gremlo, they can't really stop the Lycan now. Like, he's got level 2 Feral Impulse, so the right-click trades just don't work out even with his Blightstone up in Gremlo.
Well, mid lane, Canis needs to avoid the Remnant, and he does. Lil Nick, unable to finish off the kill on the Goat, was coming in to try and help out. In fact, he might find Vol, but no, he does. In fact, it was Pingu who got the kill onto Gremlo first, but Vol does die to Goat, and Lil Nick does get the kill onto the Oracle. Just kills all across the map, but First Blood did go the way of the cut. Definitely a very nice start for them on the Dire side.
They do come out ahead on that, just because the First Blood gold was taken before they lost the here down mid. So a really timely exchange for the cut, and that does give themselves a nice small lead.
He's trying to fight this one out. Canis, he's missing every hit though. The evasion from the Whirling Axes coming in clutch, and Lil Nick will get a tip from his teammate. And that is very, very bad news for Arkosh, as they do lose their mid laner.
It's going to be a pretty painful time. They are still somewhat applying pressure around the map. They're constantly sniping out these couriers. Scourge McDuck again losing his courier twice in a row. That would have been his build-up towards the Necronomicon. So his lane's going to be slowing down a bit. But overall, I think the cut's not going to be upset. 1-3, 1k lead up. They are forcing movements across the map, and they are getting some space out for themselves up top because of it. I think Arkosh right now aren't getting as much as they'd want early on, although they might set themselves up down the line for some aggression. We should see Gremlin maybe making some movements out by the 7 to 8 minute mark. Perhaps Canis Vulpus, once he hits level 7 to 8 as well, should be able to find some early pickoffs, which is really what Arkosh needs to do while the cut is kind of weak right now.
That they do. Mid lane, Canis could be in a spot of trouble again, but looks like Vol just wanted to secure the power rune, and he is going to be able to find a nice regen. Probably will be forced to take it though, as Canis is making the rotation, but an Aether Remnant is there. Now Dissimulate is going to be there from Vol, but it's going to lead to nothing. Just making sure he can get away freely. We did see Crow with the rotation on the Nyx Assassin, but unfortunately he did get a bit unlucky there with the power rune, and he's just going to have to make the Walk of Shame back up towards the top lane. But they will find Scourge McDuck in a Sprout. Illuminate is going to fly through, but they get the Impale off. Scourge is falling fairly low, and now the body blocks are there from Crow, but he does make his way away. They need one more hit, and they will be able to get at Crow. Able to secure a kill onto the McDuck. That is the Lycan. Arkosh not looking too bad now. Still a slight net worth lead for the cut. In fact, you look at bot lane as well, John. Vol's going to be in trouble, and Goat able to pick up another kill on the Oracle.
The early aggression we want to see coming out from Pale Horse has it level 6, so Warpath is ready, and the damage output and the control you get from the Oracle Bristleback is not something you want to really underestimate here on the cut. So kill board evened out 3-3. 1k lead still up for the cut. You are seeing Scourge McDuck dip into the jungle now with his Necronomicon up, so he can just clear these camps highly efficiently and perhaps make his way towards that level 3 Necronomicon, or at least level 2 before making his way out of the lanes. Arkosh do have some opportunities with that Lycan in the jungle. They could easily just rotate out Wither, Nyx, and NP, although you don't have Vendetta yet. Or they could easily just opt for a push themselves. You've got level 6 up on Gremlo. He has his level 3 Treants up. Could try to force some movements out now if they wanted to. Only real worrying point is the fact that Lil Nick is starting to pull ahead of Canis. So that Troll matchup is actually starting to shape up really well. Has his phase boots up, and it is going to be that Ags rush on the Troll. So once you have those Dispels up, it's going to be very hard to keep Lil Nick down.
Goat going to be in danger, but a roar coming out from Tingle straight onto the Bristle, so they get one. Goat's going to go down, and now Palehorse in trouble, but here comes the rotations. Canis Vulpus jumping in. Tingle's going to die. Vol in trouble as well, but they have lost Palehorse. Vol still trying to run. There's a blinding light out from Pingu to save the day. Well, they do at least kill off the Beastmaster. They do lose their safe lane Bristle, as well as their position 5 Oracle on the side of Arkosh.
It's a bigger win for the cut. Like, Lil Nick gets to go in, he gets a Haste Rune, he finds the kill himself, so that build-up in the Troll we were talking about is accelerating at a good pace. They've even got a Necronomicon as well here on Tingle King, so 2 Necronomicons up. Oh.
Yeah, just going to get bursted down. Nice little stun out from Canis, and now they're going to go straight back onto that Beastmaster, but Lil Nick does show himself. He wants to go for the fight onto Canis, who is already out of mana, and he's going to die straight off the bat. Into Goat now. Lil Nick is just not done. He gets a slow off, and Goat, I don't really believe he has many places to go here. He's going to try and survive, but there is no way in hell he gets out. It's going to be another 2 kills going to the way of the cut. With this positioning now, Lil Nick can start to try and take down that bottom tier 1 tower. But it does appear that Palehorse is not going to make it very easy. He is going to stick around on the Bristleback. Just try to keep this lane pushed out as best as possible.
Yeah, you can see the cut trying to apply some pressure around those. Scourge McDuck was trying to push mid, although Canis.
Oh, Scourge McDuck's there onto Canis Vulpus, and well, Tingle King actually killing off Palehorse down at the bot lane. Still, Scourge is going to get low and does have to run away. Looks like he is going to be out of danger's way. He does manage to get himself out. That kill onto the Bristle. Well, I'm not really sure how it happened, but I believe it was a Roar connecting, and it was probably just all the units being committed by Tingle. That was proving to be enough. And John, I just realized as well we have 2 Necro books on the side of the cut, which means that in theory they are running the library strat. Just a lot of books.
Yeah. Yeah, and you can see the recall up top. They want Gremlo here.
Yeah, Gremlo's in big trouble. He's trying to get the TP off, and he does get away with it. Now, Canis is going to jump in to try and get some revenge. Crow, a nice stun out. Does kill off Lil Nick. That's a great start. Onto Vol now. Dissimulate away with the Astral Step, but it is a rather short step, and Vol should eventually just be dead as the Purifying Flames come in, and they will get the damage out. Gremlo able to pick up his 3rd kill of the game now. And Arkosh giving it back to the side of the cut.
Yeah, really good pickups there. Finding Lil Nick, holding him down. This will transition into a push as well for Arkosh up top. They've got the NP around. They've got the Monkey ready to push those towers in. Issue is, with the library strat you mentioned, Tingle King is looking down mid. He's keeping that shoved in, so Palehorse has to show up. And Scourge McDuck gets spaced down bot, so he can just get a solo push himself.
And while you were saying all that, John, Pingu does end up dying to Canis Vulpus, and they do go after that top tier 1 tower. It's just even trades across the map in terms of objectives for now. A lot of pressure being applied by the cut in multiple lanes. I've got to tell you, with all these Necromonicons, it's going to be rather tough for Palehorse to really have any mana. That mana drain can be quite infuriating to play against, especially for the Bristle. As Crow does get caught out in the mid lane, and Vol will be able to secure a very nice kill for himself on the Void Spirit. And once again, they look to move into that mid lane to try and go after that tier 1 tower, and they do have the Roar available if they do want to try and commit to a team fight. Very patient play here from the cut, just waiting in the tree line and seeing if they can find an opening. Gremlo going to give Palehorse a full bottle from the fountain. Looks like they aren't going to commit for the fight yet. The cut, they're just going to wait it out, maybe get a bit more farm first. They'll take their time with this.
I mean, while they're doing that, Scourge McDuck just gets to shove bot tier 2 now with his Necronomicon Trio, though.
Oh, Vol getting a bit too confident there, trying to go onto Goat, but didn't really realize the Nyx Assassin was right behind him. Meanwhile, Scourge pops the wolf form, and they do go onto Pale Horse. In fact, Crow is being chased down by wolves, and he does just end up dying to them. Tingle now being chased down by Pale, but they'll just turn back around. They get the roar off, the Mana Drain flying in. They do false promise Pale Horse up. He needs to try and fight back. Canis Vulpus is going to be able to at least kill off Tingle, but here comes Scourge McDuck with all the units in the world. He will surround the Monkey King and take him down. The buyback was there from Goat, but unfortunately it leads to nothing.
Yeah, and it's another favorable win for Vol.
Might be a dieback here on Goat if he's not too careful. Vol really wanted it, but now Vol's in danger. A nice sprout block is there from Gremlo, and Vol should just be dead, but Scourge McDuck killing Goat off in the backside, and he does get the dieback. In fact, Little Nick is still going after the Bristle. They did not kill Vol off, and Pale Horse is going to go down. Oh, it's an absolute mess in the mid lane. And that'll mean a tier 1 tower going down as well.
Yeah, that's going to be a really quick tower to take for the cut. 10 to 14, 5k, 6k lead up now for the cut, as they have just gotten everything they want. They've still got key timings to meet as well. Lil Nick is 2 parts away from his Ags. Once you've got that in your troll, of course, you're going to be having massive issues in Gremlo.
Yeah, he's been chopping trees, John, but that's not his job in this game. Gremlo is going to try and make a run for it. Let's get the sprout off. Little Nick still sees him. And Gremlo, yeah, there's no way out for him. He's gone. Poor Gremlo.
He's trying. He's trying to split push as best as he can with the NP. Arkosh now, with his deficit, need to try to buy out space. Pale Horse does have a Vanguard, but...
Yeah, speaking of Pale Horse, look at the damage coming out from these units. This loses about half his HP. Scourge, I mean, he has Wolf Form back up in about 3 seconds, so he's not really too concerned about Pale Horse. He's not going to try and initiate for now anyway. You look at Crow as well, and that Nyx Assassin just trying to sneak into the Dire Triangle, and he does end up spotting out the Lycan, but they spot him out as well. Of course, Necro 3 does give you True Sight, and Crow, perhaps forgetting about this, might pay for it with his life. Scourge trying to micro his creeps for a second there. They are going to continue this chase onto Crow. Those Necro units, though, are going to run out very, very soon, but Pingu does have a sentry if necessary. Crow's still trying to run. Blinding Light is there now. Crow trying to hide in the corner, but it won't matter. He will be surrounded, and he does get eaten alive by the Wolves of Lycan. In fact, top lane now. Canis is going to be in trouble. He's trying to survive, but the Roar does come out. They have plenty of control for the Monkey King. They'll get another. And John, that's going to mean a 7k net worth lead for the cut. And it's looking like an even more dominant game than game 1 was.
Yeah, they're shaping up. They're hitting their key timings. They're keeping that aggression up. And Arkosh are still trying to build up. Pale Horse is just trying to farm into that Crimson Guard. And is not going to be caught out, but they do lose their top tier 1. And you can see the confidence from the cut. They're just grouping up. They're ready for anything here.
That they are. Scourge still has the wolf form, but without the Roar, it just seems like they don't really want to have to fight if they don't have to. I say that though, Lil Nick is chasing down Gremlo once again on the Nature's Prophet. They won't spot him out, Gremlo. He might just try and turn around and fight with his team. Crow looking to set up, might spot out Vol and does. Wherever he is, Boundless Strike going to be very, very nice on Vol in massive trouble, but a nice Blinding Light is not going to be enough. Arkosh, they do get 1. You've got to consider the fact that that's a 5-man rotation for a position 4 Void Spirit. They are going to try and make it a bit more worthwhile by going after that mid-tier 1 tower. They have to get something for their trouble. It's still not going to be very easy though. The Roar back up in 10 seconds and the damage just flying out onto Pale Horse.
Oh man, looking at this troll from Lil Nick with the Ags up, that spam on the axis, it's just so annoying. They just can't push. Like, they clump up as 5, they try to go onto the tier 1, can't even take it out. Now, the cut, smoke up, and they can just easily go in for a fight. They've got Roar up.
Absolutely, and they find Gremlo. Question is, will they commit the Roar for Gremlo? He's trying to block with the Treants. Remnant is going to connect. They won't even need the Roar for this. Gremlo, he's going to try for the TP out, but there's just so much damage there from Lil Nick right now. He gets another kill. And with that Roar, they could just try for another if they so wish. Pale Horse going to get spotted. Tingle not going to commit yet, but here comes Scourge McDuck. And Vol coming in from the left side. Crow going to get spotted again by those Necro creeps, and Crow is just going to get bursted down. Pale Horse, he's going to survive. Be just fine. Or will he? They are waiting on the high ground. They seem to want everybody but the Bristle. Goat, oh, he's going to be slowed up and jumped on. He does false promise himself, but those units might actually kill him. But he does have the salve going. Oh. Meanwhile, the Bristle being caught out now by the Roar. Pale Horse getting blinding lighted into the Aether Remnant. And, just, again, very, very bad news here for Arkosh, John.
Nah, it's really not shaping up. 11 to 20, 10k up. The Cut have been playing this really well all over the map, forcing that aggression out. Arkosh now are trying to take a step back to build some farm up. They need this Ags up in Canis Vulpus. It's not coming out fast enough. The towers are falling really quick, and the library strat is in full swing. Beastmaster plus Lycan, as you mentioned in draft, you can't afford to lose objectives like this against these two heroes.
No, you can't. There's a buyback there from Pale Horse, but it's pretty rough when you have to buy back this early on. Of course, it is to be expected when you lose the early game that hard that this kind of draft from the Cut is just going to run you down. So with that buyback committed, they might just rotate into the mid-tier 2 now. Or rather just control the rest of the map. Because you can't forget as well, John, there is still a Roshan to take. There's just so many objectives right now that the Cut can go for. And it looks like Roshan might be the decision they're looking for. Or perhaps they'll try onto Canis. Meanwhile, Pingu gets spotted out by that Observer Ward. Is trying to make a bit of space. Ultimately should just die, but he does actually pop down the Will-O-Wisp. Still trying to run away, but Crow, he does land the Impale, and that should be enough, and it will be Goat. Does get the kill, but now Vol jumps in, and here comes the Wolf. They kill off the Oracle. Gremlo's in trouble, trying to run, but again, just completely surrounded. And Scourge McDuck now wanting Pale Horse. He wants that dieback, and he might just get it. The Purge is going to be there. Pale Horse just taking so much damage, but the Aether Remnant won't lock him in. And Canis does come in to help out his buddy. Dieback will not happen for the Bristle.
But you're seeing issues now with even the damage output of our Bristle. Scourge already has his Assault Cuirass up. There's a lot of armor here mitigating that. No?
Yeah, Lil Nick, he gets the Quelling Blade off onto the correct tree, just spotting out where Canis Vulpus went. Onto Crow now, who was trying to help out, but he just can't do anything. Back onto the Oracle as well. They clear out another. Complete domination from the Cut. Pale Horse. Will-O-Wisp is going to be dropped straight onto him. He is very, very deep onto his low ground. Scourge McDuck going to chase him down, but ultimately won't continue the chase. And I'd say you just go for the Roshan now, if you're the Cut.
Yeah, it opens up that Roche. Gremlo is trying to split push right now. He does have his Ag Shard ready to fly out. No Lucky Bash for Lil Nick. No Lucky Root means that Gremlo does go away, but that Roche you mentioned is opened up. Scourge McDuck just getting the work done by himself, and this is going to be a really quick one as well. Once you've got that Aegis up, 2 lives to have to dig through now for Arkosh complicates matters. They can't even come in to close out. Like, they don't have the wards, and there's some really good vision here from the Cut.
Nice little stun out onto Vol. Crow, Astral stepping forward. He might be in danger now, though. He's going to try and dissimulate back onto Goat. Purifying Flame's not proving to be enough. He does false promise himself, but it means nothing. His teammates are dying all around him, and Goat is just going to die to units. Back onto Pale Horse now. Scourge McDuck just right on top. That'll be the dieback flying out now. And that's a godlike spree for Scourge. They are trying to split push the lanes. Top lane is being pushed in by Canis and, of course, the bot lane by Gremlo. But they aren't going to be able to really force any objectives. And I think the Cut, they're more than happy to back off. I don't think they're in much of a rush.
No, they've got this huge power spike on hand. They could still build up on their troll. Little Nick is still saving up. Does have his Kai and Sanj, and although...
Oh, nice pickup here from Arkosh. Do end up killing off Vol. Good rotation there from Grenlo, and now with Vol dead, they should be able to get this tier 2. However, the mid-Rax is also going down. They're just not being forced back. The Cut realize how much faster they can take objectives. They take them pretty darn quick once that glyph is over. Onto the melee barracks. Still no return from the side of Arkosh Gaming. They've just left their supports there to defend. And that'll be one Rax going down onto the bot Rax. And I guess without the Bristleback, they just don't feel confident in this high ground defense. Will-O-Wisp going to be dropped preemptively, and Pale Horse gets caught out straight off the bat. Raw is going to fly out from Tingle. They find 2 Raxes, and that'll be enough for them. Onto the top lane, where Gremlo was still trying to get the tier 3 tower, but that is not going to work out in his favor. Sprout is there. They have plenty of birds just giving vision of where Gremlo is. Gremlo, unfortunately, is going to be caught and should just be dead. There he goes. Another kill out for Tingle.
It's a good pickup there. Arkosh trying to do the right thing by just split pushing as well as they can, knowing that they did not really have the best angles for that team fight anymore. Did get that top tier 3 down to a really low HP, 351 HP there for the Dar top tier 3. Not enough to really get a trade, so the Cut's still looking good. 2 lanes up. There is one last outer tower here for them to take. They've still got Aegis for about 2.5 minutes. They've got a lot of time to just play here, and looking at Little Nick, he is flying out his next items as well, and he is really hard to keep in. In fact, all the heroes of the Cut are just really hard to control, considering how far ahead they are. Arkosh now probably just relying on, say, a big Wukongs in the high ground, with some control and some better positioning with a false promise here for Goat. That's probably how they win out the next fight. They just need to play with Wukongs in the high ground defense. Beyond that, maybe split push out from Gremlo. Does get a tier 1 bot. Not the biggest objective, but it is something. But they still lose this last outer tower here.
That they do. Oh, Nick actually ready to fight again. Preemptively getting rid of that tree line, making sure nobody's hiding in the trees. Is Little Nick now going to move his way in. Aid through Remnant, not going to lock down the Nyx Assassin, and now the Will-O-Wisp has been dropped, and McDuck, he's going to go straight after that wolf form. Crow just going to get one hit onto Goat now. The Oracle also going to die. Pale Horse trying to fight this one out by himself, but he is also going down. The buybacks are out, but this could be it. They are falling apart on Arkosh Gaming, and they will call the GG. And with that, the Cut once again, for the second week in a row, is going to find a 2-0 very dominant victory in their series.
Yeah, really strong performance coming out here from the Cut. Arkosh, you know, they tried. Game 2 draft was a bit cleaner. They were getting a good start on Pale Horse, but they weren't getting enough. Looks like the Cut comes out on top, and Little Nick, well, he was challenged by Arkosh 7 hours before this match began. He does deliver. He was given 7 hours to prepare, Mark. What can I say? I mean, Arkosh, they laid a beat down verbally, but you don't threaten them that early. You know, it gave Little Nick a lot of time there to prep up.
Ironic as well that you mentioned last game, John, Dota Plus was favoring the Cut. This game, Dota Plus started with favoring Arkosh. So it turns out Dota Plus can be wrong, John. There you have it. So Arkosh, unfortunately, a pretty hard day for them, but you've got to appreciate the effort they put in here up against the Cut. I do believe the Cut is one of the stronger teams right now on this this lower division group stage. I don't 100% know if we're having an interview. We are currently waiting around to see if we are going to have anyone from the Cut joining in, but I believe there probably won't be one, unfortunately, John. So we'll wait a minute. We'll have a quick chat to see if anyone's going to pop up, and hopefully you'll turn your camera back on, sir, so I can switch the scenes.
Yeah. There you
Thank
go.
you, Jonathan.
We are.
With that, how did you feel, John? I believe this was your first series watching the Arkosh boys. Did you feel good about it?
Yeah, I think they had some interesting drafts on hand. It's just that the Cut is looking really good. Like we saw it in week 1 with the Cut's first matchup against Electronic Boys. They just performed spectacularly well, and they deliver once again here. Arkosh, it looks like they might need to awaken a little bit more. I'm not sure what Slacks needs to pull out here to get the boys up, but it looks like we do have an interview, Mike. Kyle just got back. We do have Little Nick who'll be jumping on.
In that case, we need to switch over to another Discord server. So we'll go to a quick break screen. We're still here, though. Don't worry. And, let's move over to that, John. We have it. So Lil Nick is coming on, did you say, John?
Yes. He's in the waiting room.
Excellent. In that case, we'll bring him in just a moment. I actually have been meaning to talk to this man, a young gentleman that's obviously been performing very well. And, we do have Lil Nick here for an interview from the cut. Lil Nick, mate, congratulations on your victory today, a 2-0 series, a very dominant series. First up, how are you feeling?
Feeling pretty good. I mean, we thought Arkosh going into it were pretty good. They're like one of the better two teams here, so I don't know. We just tried our best and it worked out.
Absolutely. I mean, I've got to ask you as well. I'm not too informed about North America right now. I'm doing my research as we go on. How long have you been doing? How long have you been playing with your team, the cut?
I've been playing on the cut, like the
stack, the plays that you're with.
I joined it like a night before the third open qualifiers. So
wow.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
That's impressive.
Beautiful.
You guys look like you've been playing for years together, mind you. So I mean, that's pretty darn impressive. John, any questions for the man?
How do you feel about being called out by Arkosh's Twitter? You know, they were flexing Canis Vulpus. How do you feel about seeing that image of him showing off his toned, beastly body? And how do you feel going up into your mid matchup in this series?
I mean, Canis Vulpus is ripped. Respect, honestly. Yeah, I don't know. He's a pretty decent mid laner. I solo killed him in the first game, and then I tried to kill him again, and I died. But that's just life. What can you do? Second game, I killed him again. Yeah, that's felt pretty good. We had pretty good mid matchups going into both of them, so yeah. He's a good player, though. I respect him.
Nick, be honest with me. Sorry, John, I don't mean to interrupt. I just want to quickly ask little Nick. Nick, you seem like a very modest young gentleman, so I've got to ask you to be honest here. Are these mid-matchups hard for you? Because you're making it look very easy. I can't lie. You are making it look very easy in that mid lane.
I mean, I don't know what to say. I guess I just ate my Wheaties today or something. I don't know what to say.
Ate your Wheaties.
I guess I'm owning.
We call them Wheat Bix in Australia, by the way, John, just for your information. You had a question for Lil Nick.
Yeah, how are you feeling going through the lower div here? Week number 2, first match of the week. You guys are looking strong in the first 2 weeks. How are you feeling about the rest of the weeks coming up, Lil Nick? Any particular team you're worried about here, or are you feeling confident all throughout?
I'm feeling pretty confident against the rest of the teams. What's the name? Simply 2 Based. I think they're probably the best team in the lower division. Empyrean God. And also I was on a team with Monkeys and Z-Freak, so you know there's the beef. They left they left after the second qualifiers. That team was a bit rough. So you know it's gonna be a big hype match. Poggers.
That is actually gonna be pretty hype. I suppose to finish this off, Lil Nick, you mentioned 2 Based, you mentioned that they're probably the best team in the groups. You're not meeting up with them too soon, but I'd like to ask you, do you have any words for them for when you do meet up? Just be honest. Don't worry about what they think. You tell them how it is.
Be better than Arkosh, I guess. I don't know. Don't lose. I'm not a big trash talker myself. So I don't know. Good luck. Have fun.
What a humble guy. Thank you for that, Lil Nick. That is very humble of you, sir. With that, again, congratulations on your 2-0 victory. We are yet to see the cut losing a game, John, so very impressive thus far, and I wish you the best of luck moving forward.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
It's my pleasure.
All right. See ya.
See ya. With that, John, that's it for today. Unfortunately, we don't have any more series on, but again, thank you to Lil Nick for showing up, and obviously he has a lot of potential, John. He really is making that mid matchup look very, very easy every single time. Always nice to see he is very humble as well, not willing to trash talk, which, you know, I like a bit of trash talk, but yeah, he lets his play do the talking by the looks of it. John,
Oh,
with
yeah.
that's it for today. Do you have any last words before we do head out?
Hopefully everyone's having fun. Remember, if you haven't yet, follow the NADPC Twitter. That will help out. And follow the teams. Most of them seem to have Twitters. You can check it out on the NADPC Twitter. But that's going to be it. Me and Mike will catch you guys next time.
It's been a pleasure. We will see you next time.